Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening. Good evening, Princey. I am doing well. How are you? Good evening, Vipul. Good evening. No face. Why you have written no face? Good evening, Lalita also. Good evening, everyone. So, good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to this session. We have started this session from Monday, and we have been discussing the current affairs of on daily basis. Like in these sessions, we are trying to cover those topics which are relevant for UPSC examination. And through this, I am also trying to tell you, like suppose if you have got any topic in the newspaper, then how you have to make notes from there. Because it is very important to understand that not only just reading the information is necessary, even making use of that, it is equally very much important. And even today's session, you will find that we are going to cover 3 articles simultaneously, and we are going to take out the main crux of that article. If you have seen the Hindu newspaper today, you might have seen that there are 3 articles related to population. There are 3 articles, 3 editorials related to population, and we are going to cover that in one single topic. And from there, we will try to get like what are the information which we can use for examination. Okay. So this is one thing which we are going to learn today, that like we have got 3 total articles, 3 or 4 articles, and we have just mixed them in one single article, and we have taken the crux of that. So that like just going through the newspapers is not sufficient. Last day also I told you that we have got some facts, how we can utilize them, that is also equally important. So even in today's session, we are going to simultaneously take 3 or 4 topics, and then we will merge them as one, and we will try to see that what they are trying to tell about India's population. So this is one thing which we are going to do. Yes, today is World Population Day. Okay, it has been started in 1989. Formally in 1990s, it was observed by the different countries of the world. And so we can see like right now we have this 34 years, 35 years since then. And in today's newspaper, you might have seen that various articles were there about World Population Day. Now, from these articles, we have got so many important information right now. Like this is something which you can use for the mains examination. So we are going to see those topics. Yeah. So let's start. What are the topics that we have to see? The first topic that we are going to take today is about this is not something which is related to like this is not something which is going to be asked in examination directly, but here we are reading it as part of society, and we will try to understand that how we can utilize this as an example in case study, or as an example in writing the answers, even in ethics or in your GS paper or in any other segment, how you can utilize this for writing answer. So this is one thing. 3 transgender people have been selected as sub-inspector in Bihar. Okay, so that is a remarkable news which is covered in both Hindu and Indian Express. So we are going to take this topic. There is another thing, another major topic which is there, and that is Upper Siang Dam. Okay, Upper Siang is also known as Brahmaputra in India. So this Upper Siang Dam is going to be constructed. It has been proposed, and there is a lot of protest also about it, but there is a strategic importance of this dam also. So we will try to analyze from all the issue. We will also see the maps and location of this area. So that is going to be our second topic. And then the third topic is going to be people and population. The people of the country and the population which is there. Okay. So we are going to see from the societal angle, we are going to see a number of facts, and through those facts, we will try to understand the the things which are good for India and the things which are also a challenge for India. Okay. So this is something which we are going to read in today's session. Okay. चलिए, so let's start this. Okay, there is this thing. Good evening, sir. आप हिंदी बैच में नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं. Don't worry, Piyush. If you have worked hard, if you have not been able to succeed in this year, you have to work a little bit more hard, and then in the next year you are definitely going to crack it. Okay. So let's start this session. Now, what is the thing? Three transgender people have been selected as sub-inspector in Bihar. Okay. So let's see about this news. Let us try to see first what was the news. This is something which you can use as an example in the answers, and through this we will also try to understand about the transgender people in India. Okay. So now see, if we have this thing, what is the news first? Let us see the news. The news is three person who identify as transgender, they have been inducted as sub-inspector in Bihar. Okay. In Bihar, three people have been recruited as sub-inspector. And why did this happen? There was a case which was Veera Yadav versus State of Bihar case, and in that Patna High Court has given this directive to the state government that ask them to recruit persons of the third gender into the police services and home department. Okay. So Patna High Court has asked them to recruit people from the third gender as well as in the police as well as in the home department. Okay. So this is one thing which has been ordered by Patna High Court in 2021. And keeping that in mind, the Bihar government also submitted an affidavit which said that okay, we are going to do that. Okay. They have said that it would post a sub-inspector and 4 constables from the category in every district of the state. Okay. So keeping that in mind, keeping that directive in the mind, in that very case, the Bihar government said that okay, we will do the recruitment of transgender people in the police force, and at the same time we are going to ensure that there is at least 1 sub-inspector and 4 constable from transgender community who are appointed in every district. Okay. So this is something which you can take as a part of a example of reform in society and polity. This is something which you can take an example of reform in society and polity, which has been long overdue. Now, the thing is, if you look at the transgender community in India, if you go through the ancient India or if you go even through the medieval India, transgenders have been part of the noble houses, or they have been part of the kingdom or the king, the palace, or the part of the government since the beginning, from the ancient times, from the epics like Mahabharata and all others, and at the same time in various kingdoms, even in medieval times in various kingdoms, they have got some good positions at that time. But then when the British Empire came in India, it started a phase of discrimination against the people who identify themselves as transgender. Okay. So this is one thing. This discrimination got widened, or this discrimination got too much during the British time. Okay. But now over the time we have started to reform this. There was addition of so many laws and other things during the British time, which has like criminalized homosexuality, which has not allowed third gender to participate in anything. So British time laws and all other things, they have been they have criminalized homosexuality also. They have not given any place to the third gender. So this is one of the orthodox part of the British Empire in India. They have been responsible for it. But now gradually we have been trying to reform that, and one of such example of reform has been given forward by Bihar government. Okay. So this is one thing. Now there is one, while this is one of the positive part that Bihar government has started this initiative of recruiting the sub-inspectors from transgender community, or even they have said that even the constables will be appointed. But then let's come back to the population figure. Now, according to census 2011, Bihar was having 40,827 people who identified themselves as transgender. But according to the latest state caste survey, the number is just 825. So it shows that either the survey has not been done properly, or people are still fearing to identify themselves as transgender or third gender. Okay. So this is one of the challenges, that there is a huge gap in the data. In 2011, it was like more than 40,000 people. But the latest caste survey which was done in Bihar in 2022, it shows only 800 members. So there is a huge gap. People have not been given this recognition as a third gender. So that is one of the challenge which we can see from here. Okay. That on one hand it is doing good. On one hand, they are doing good of appointing or recruiting people, but on the other hand, what we see that the caste survey is not reflecting the real population of third gender or transgender in Bihar. Okay. So this is one of the challenge also which is there. Now, coming forward to, if we look at the third gender population of India according to 2011 census. A census was supposed to be conducted even in 2021, but we all know that the figures have not been released. It has not been conducted. Okay. So third gender population, if you see, UP is having the highest population, like something around 1,37,000. Overall, if we look at India's third gender population is something around 5 lakh according to the 2011 census. Okay. Something around 4,88,000. That is the population of third gender in India. So this is one thing. If you look at, these are the states in the dark green color which are having greater population of the third gender. Okay. Whereas if you look at states like Gujarat, if you look at other states of India, in those states, what we see that the ratio of third gender to total population is quite low. It means in those states, people have not identified them as third gender. Okay. So this is one of the figure. It is concentrated in some states only. Okay. Now, look at some of the provisions of it. Like if we talk about the provisions related to third gender in India, what has been done for them in the recent times. Okay. So there was this 2014 judgment. That was a landmark judgment. And this is something which you have to memorize by heart. This is something, even if once a question is coming about transgender people in India, this is something which you have to remember. This is called as Nalsa judgment. In 2014, Supreme Court has given this legal recognition to transgenders as the third gender. Okay. So transgender people have been recognized officially by the Supreme Court of India as third gender, and it has asked all the government agencies to provide this column for third gender in all applications, in all education institutions and everything. Okay. So that is the first thing. They have been legally recognized in the Nalsa judgment by the Supreme Court. Again, there is this one thing. Supreme Court not only legally recognized them, it has also directed the government that since they have been historically backward, they have not been given the opportunities for development or education, they should also be getting the benefit of reservation. There must be some reservation for them also, like you have made provisions of reservation for other backward classes or scheduled tribes. So in similar manner, you have to make provision for reservation of third gender as well. Okay. So this is one thing, like the Supreme Court has asked to extend the reservation in admission in educational institutions and for public appointments. So this is one thing which has been directed by the Supreme Court itself in 2014 judgment. Okay. So this is one of the part. Then the second thing is, in 2018 again, there is this famous case is also there. Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India. So this case is also Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India. This is also one of the prominent case. Why prominent? Because at this point, the section 377, has been declared as null and void. Okay. So section 377 was declared as null and void by Supreme Court. Okay. What it was all about? It was about homosexuality. So Supreme Court has decriminalized homosexuality. Supreme Court recognized that this article section 377 of the IPC, it is a tool of harassing the people of LGBTQ community. Okay. It considered that this section 377 of IPC, the erstwhile IPC, they said that it is a tool of harassing the people of LGBTQ community, and hence it must be removed, it must be nullified. Okay. So this is one thing which has been done by Supreme Court in Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India case. Okay. Now, this is one part. Then keeping that in light, you will find that Karnataka has emerged as the first state in 2021 itself. Karnataka emerged as the first state to extend 1% reservation for trans people in any service or post in all categories of employment to be filled through direct recruitment process in the state. Okay. So means in all the jobs which are done by direct recruitment, in all these cases, there is going to be 1% reservation for trans people in Karnataka. Okay. So Karnataka has emerged as one of the first state to do so. Now other states are also doing it, like we have the example of Bihar for some of the jobs that they have given this reservation. But Karnataka has done it for all the jobs in the state. So this is one of the part how the states are reforming their laws for and making it more friendly towards the transgender people. So this is one part which you can use right now also as an example. Like suppose we have this example of Bihar, you can use that an example that how the society is transforming, how the polity or policies are also getting transformed to keep in line with the changing society. So this is one part. Now tell me one thing, what are the challenges faced by LGBTQ community? What are the problems faced by them? Can you tell me what are the challenges which are being faced by them? Yes, this will come under the part of Indian society. This will be part of Indian society. Public appointment, like suppose if there is any such vacancy, let us say that of state PCS examination or police or any other thing, clerk to everything, all these public appointments, in that means any such government job. Okay, there is one simple thing, discrimination. Okay, how prevalent is this discrimination? Can you give me some direct examples or something more concrete? What are the challenges which are being faced by them? Yeah, this is one of the part that society considers it to be a illness. Okay. That is one of the part that society considers it to be an illness. That is the first challenge, that society is not able to accept it as normal. Society is not able to accept it as normal. Society thinks that it is a challenge, and then they also go to doctors, and even the various doctors and various people claim that they can cure this. Various people also say that they can cure this. There is nothing to be cured here. There is nothing which needs to be cured here. It is a natural thing. Okay. So that is one of the part which people do not understand. Okay. So this is one of the parts society considers them to be a illness. Anything else? Okay, Ulka. Anything else? There is one simple thing, discrimination. So discrimination in what? Discrimination in all facets of life. Discrimination in all forms. Discrimination in all forms. Like it can be in form of education. It is in form of job. It is in form of, like, even suppose that if people from the LGBTQ community, if they are trying to find a, let us say, a apartment for rent or anything like that, if they identify themselves as transgender, it may become difficult for them to even get a apartment or a flat. Yeah. So in all these aspects, in all the, even the societal acceptance of the people is quite low. Yeah. So education, job, housing, in all these aspects, there is a challenge for the people. Okay. The third major challenge is health challenge. Health challenge. Okay. You will find that those people who are from LGBTQ community, they are not having proper access to health services. They are not having proper access to health services. They are not even aware. They are not even aware about the suitable health choices. Yeah. So there is one thing, lack of awareness about healthy choices. Second thing is lack of this health facility as well. Lack of health facility as well. Okay. So that is also one of the challenge, that there is lack of health facility and they are not even aware about the healthy choices. So that is also a challenge. Then at the same time, yes, rightly you have been it has been pointed by one of you, like honor killing also takes place. Ulka has pointed this, that yes, there is also a thing that since the society is not accepting it, the family is not accepting it. Yeah. The family is not cooperative, or family do not accept. It also leads to honor killing. Honor killing. I hope you know what is honor killing. Honor killing is a term which means that the family thinks that if someone is going away from the traditions, or if someone has done something different from the traditions which is prevailing in the society, then it hurts their honor, and in order to safeguard their honor, they kill the person of their own family. Okay. So honor killing is something which is very much famous, very much prevalent in various parts of the country, and sometimes in the name of third gender, sometimes even for love marriages or other things, there is honor killing which is quite much frequent. Even for intercaste marriage, there is this challenge of honor killing. So there is one of the challenge, family do not accept, honor killing is one of the challenge. Yeah. One of more challenge which still remains there, they cannot marry. They have no such right of marriage. In India, marriage is recognized as an institution in which there is going to be one person who identifies as male, another person who identifies as female. So in India, there is no right to marriage even for transgender people. So right to marriage for them is also not there. That is also one of the challenge. Even in the latest Supreme Court judgment, it has not been recognized. Okay. So they do not have this right to marriage. This is not available for them. They cannot marry. That is one of the challenge. It means they cannot have family. They cannot have family. Okay. Even adoption of child, or surrogacy is not allowed. Or surrogacy is not allowed. Okay. So this is some of the challenge which are being faced by them. They cannot have family, they cannot marry, they cannot even adopt a child, or they cannot even go for surrogacy, because all these things are available for people who can marry in India. And for marriage as an institution in India has been recognized as a bond between two people. One of them have to be male, another have to be female. Okay. So that is also one of the challenge which we see with respect to LGBTQ community or transgender people. Okay. So this is also one of the challenge. LGBTQ means, this is a broader term. This is a broader term. LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer. So there are different group of people who have been combinedly called as third gender, or sometimes they are called as transgender, but this is the full like abbreviation: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender or queer community. Okay. So this is the entire spectrum. When you will read the Indian society, you will have to also read about the LGBTQ community. Okay. So I hope it is clear. A sense of not being able to express oneself remains through the, yes, people tend to avoid them, correct. So this is one part, that people do not have this right to marriage or adoption of child also. Question is, a single woman can adopt a child? That varies. A single woman who have been married but divorced, or she has been a widow, then she can get it. Then she can go for adoption, or then she can go for surrogacy. But other than that, it is not allowed. Okay. So married couple, suppose a woman is married and after marriage she is separated or she is widow, then that girl has the option. Okay. So this is one thing. They have option once they have become married, they have become separated or divorced, or the women have become widow, then they have this option. Okay. Good evening. So this is our first part, that what is the challenge with the LGBTQ community. Now government has started some schemes also for them. Government has started some of the programs. Like one of the thing is, now the government is giving transgender certificate. The government is giving transgender certificate or ID. Okay. So transgender certificate or ID is now being issued by the government. At the same time, there is also program for skill development and training. The government is also allocating some funds for skill development of transgender people. At the same time, they also have this shelter, Garima Greh. So it is basically a shelter home. It is basically a shelter home for transgender community. Okay. So government has started these things. Then they have also started composite medical health. And it has also started like recognition and appreciation. Like if people are doing something, they are being awarded by the government. If people from transgender community are doing some exceptional work, they are also being rewarded by the government. So this is one thing which have been started in the latest time. Like the central government is at least working on these dimensions. They are building some they are building some shelter homes which are called as Garima Greh. Okay. Then we have also this recognition and appreciation. There is also composite medical health care for them also. Then there is a skill development as well as transgender certificate or ID which is being generated. Okay. But overall, as of today, you will find that only 25,000 applicants are there. If we see, the population is something around 4,80,000 plus. But the applicants, the total number of application for transgender ID has been roughly around 25,000 only. So this shows that still the society is not such that people can openly come and ask for these things. Okay. It is only a very minuscule population. So that is one of the challenge with the transgender community. Now, coming to the second topic. I hope the first one is clear. The first topic is clear. What is the challenge with LGBTQ community? What are the challenges we have seen? We have seen what you can use as example. We have seen the schemes of the government, and we have also seen that what is their status, the Supreme Court judgments and everything. I hope it is clear. Maybe lack, not maybe lack, actually the lack of awareness is also a reason. Okay. So this is one part. Now coming to the second topic, we have a Upper Siang project. So what is this Upper Siang? First of all, Siang is basically the Brahmaputra river. Siang is basically Brahmaputra river. Okay. This river is called as Shangpo. It is called as Shangpo when it is there in Tibet. When it is in Tibet, it is called as Shangpo or Yarlung Jangbo. Okay. It enters India at this location, and this location is called as Namcha Barba. This location is called as Namcha Barba. And here the river is called as Siang. Here this river is called as Siang. Okay. So this Brahmaputra river in Arunachal Pradesh, in the upper parts of Arunachal Pradesh, it is called as Siang. When it meets Lohit and all other rivers, and when it goes to this part of Assam, it meets here in Assam, and there it is called as Brahmaputra. So in the upper portion, it is called as Siang. So now what is the part here? What is the main contention here? Now, in the present times, there are two large hydropower projects on this Siang river. There are two large hydropower projects on this Siang river. Okay. There is one thing, there is one hydropower project which is of 5500 megawatt, and there is second which is of 3750 megawatt. So two projects has been planned on this Siang river. Okay. One project of 5500 megawatt and second project of 3075 megawatt. Okay. Now, what the government is saying, instead of having two different projects, we are going to make one multi-purpose large dam of power 11,000 megawatt. Instead of having two different power projects or two different having hydropower projects, we are going to create a large hydropower project of size of 11,000 megawatt. Okay. So this is the news, this is the context of it, that what is being done. Now the question is, why? Why the government is doing it? What is the strategy behind it? Why the government have thought of making this Upper Siang project? Why it is going for it? Okay. We will come to the mapping portion, but let us see that what is the part of it. Okay. See, when we talk about this, why we are building this dam, why the government is building this dam, there is a story behind it. The story is China has planned to make a dam on the Shangpo river. China is trying to make a dam on the Shangpo river. Three Georges Dam, three dams are being constructed in this Shangpo river, and due to that dam, that is still in planning phase, due to that dam, there will be huge fluctuation in the flow of water towards India. If China is able to make that dam, and they are making a dam of the power of 60,000 megawatt, so they are making a huge dam. China is making a huge dam on the Shangpo river. Shangpo is simply the Brahmaputra river in Tibet. So China is making a huge or a super mega power dam in this Shangpo river, and they are trying to divert the water of Brahmaputra towards other part of China. Okay. So from this dam, there is going to be diversion of water to other parts. So this is one of the reason that what we see, that China is going to make a 60,000 megawatt power project on the Shangpo river, and that will lead to huge fluctuation of water in the Brahmaputra. Sometimes there will be scarcity of water. Sometimes it may happen that China may release all the water and it will cause intense amount of flood in the entire region. Okay. So India might become vulnerable due to this power project which is planned in China on Shangpo river. Now in order to counter that dam, we are trying to make this Upper Siang project of 11,000 megawatt. So this is simply to counter the Chinese dam, otherwise it will be a challenge for us also. Okay. So it is basically a strategic imperative to counter the China's hydel power project. Okay. Now, see, this dam is going to be used to divert the water. So this Upper Siang project will act as a reservoir to counter the effect of a potentially reduced flow. Okay. So this our Siang project will ensure that there is a continuous flow of water in India. That's why we are trying to construct it. It means the government is trying to construct it. Okay. So then if it is for a good purpose, or it is a strategic move, then why are the people opposing there? The people might also have some concerns. Why are the local people opposing in that area? So see, why are the people opposing it? The locals here, they are saying that, like you know that in Arunachal Pradesh we have a lot of tribal population. They have in Arunachal Pradesh we have a lot of tribal population, and they consider the entire area, the Brahmaputra or the mountains or the different rivulets or the different forests there to be quite sacred. They consider it to be quite sacred. That is one part. Plus they have been living there for thousands of years. They say that they have been living here for thousands of years, and if you are going to construct this Upper Siang river, then they are going to be displaced. Okay. So this is one of the challenge. They think that it is their ancestral abode. This is the place where their ancestors have been living, and you know that tribal people have a very strong affinity towards their land, towards their forest. Okay. So first thing is affinity towards land, forest and river. That is the first part, that they have a very strong affinity, very strong, they like it quite much to live in their ancestral abode. They don't want to vacate that place. They don't want to go to any other region. That is one of the cause. Second thing is, there is one of the challenge in India. Whenever we are making a new power projects, whenever we are trying to make some hydropower projects, it leads to displacement of a large number of people. But the main concern is, once the people are displaced, they are not rehabilitated properly. So they have a fear in their mind that will they be rehabilitated properly this time? Okay. So there is second concern for rehabilitation. There is second thing, concern for rehabilitation, where they will be moved. Rehabilitation. That is the second thing. Then third part is it is not a small area which is going to be submerged. By creation of this Upper Siang project, there is going to be submergence of 300 villages. There is going to be submergence of 300 villages. Now 300 villages means intense amount of or huge amount of biodiversity. Huge amount of biodiversity. In Arunachal Pradesh, you know that 70 to 80% of the area, more than 80% of the area is under forest cover. And in that 300 villages, in this area, if they are going to be submerged, it means enormous amount of biodiversity is going to be submerged under the water. It is going to be destroyed. So that is also a cause of concern. People are worried that what will happen to their farms, what will happen to their gardens, where they will go. If this village is submerged, what will be the option for their livelihood? Right now, their livelihood and all other things depend on these villages. So they are concerned about their life, livelihood, shelter, their farms, their gardens, all other things. So this is one of the challenge which has been highlighted. The challenge is of environmental concern also. The challenge is also about the people having their strong affinity for the region. Okay. So this is one thing which we see, that there is a Upper Siang project and the people are protesting it also, but at the same time it is strategically important for us as well, okay, for the country as well. So this is one of the thing about Upper Siang. Now, can you tell me one thing? What are the left bank tributaries of, or what are the right bank tributaries of Brahmaputra river? Left bank and right bank. What are those territories? What are the territories of Brahmaputra? Can you tell me some names of tributaries of Brahmaputra? Yes, Satyam, you have come just now, but the class starts at 5. Can anyone tell me, like, what are the tributaries of this river, Brahmaputra? Left bank and no idea. Anyone else who have any idea about what are the tributaries of this river? Lohit is there, Dihang is there. Anything else? In right you have Subansiri, Kaming, that is coming, Poonam, that is coming, Manas, Teesta. Okay, anything else? Manas is there. Okay. See, let me show you one simple trick to remember them. Now it is going to be in a bit of Hindi also and English also. Yeah. So see, we have these rivers as right bank. First of all, try to understand what is right bank and what is left bank. The river is moving in this manner. The river is moving in this manner. So anything in this side is called as right bank. On this side, on the downward side, it is the left bank tributary. Suppose you are standing in this, so right side is, this is the flow of water. The water flows in this direction. So it is the right bank and it is the left bank. Now to remember them, you have a simple mnemonics, and the mnemonics is सबकी मस्ती. ऊपर में सबकी मस्ती चल रही है. ऊपर में कौन कौन से, मीन्स in the upper portion, what are the rivers there? First of all, we have this sub stands for Subansiri. He stands for Kaming, and then we have Manas, Sankos, Teesta. So here we have Manas, Sankos and Teesta. So Masti, and in that we have सबकी. तो ऊपर में सबकी मस्ती चल रही है, मीन्स वी हैव द सुबनसिरी, कामेंग, देन वी हैव मानस, देन वी हैव संकोशी, and then we have Teesta. Okay. So these are the tributaries of Brahmaputra in the right side or the upper side. If you see in the map, in the upper side you will find them in the northern side. Okay. On this side you have again some rivers, like here you have Dibang, Lohit, Bharalinisari, Dikhou, Dhansiri and Kopili. Okay. So these are the river in this direction. Now there is one simple thing. Dibba lo or Bharat dekho Dhanka. Okay. So here first we have this Dibang for Dibba, then we have Lohit for low, and then you have this Bharat, which is Varanasi, and then you have Dekho, that is Dikhou. Then you have Dhansiri, Dhang and then you have Kopili को. तो you have this option डिब्बा लो और भारत देखो ढंग का. तो इससे आप इसको याद कर सकते हो, दिबांग, लोहित, भारी नरसी, दिखो, धनश्री एंड कौपिली. और ऊपर में सबकी मस्ती मीन्स ऑन द राइट साइड वी हैव सुबनसिरी, कामेंग, मानस, देन वी हैव दिस river which is Sankosh, and then we have Teesta. Okay. So in this manner you can try to remember the rivers of the tributaries of Brahmaputra river on the left bank also, on the right bank also. Okay. So from this you can remember that what are the tributaries of this river. So this is one of the part, that what are the tributaries. I hope you can remember this now. Captain, I think you, Captain, you were there in the classes of map also. I hope now you can remember that what are the tributaries of this river. Yes. So this is one of the part, that what are the rivers of, what are the rivers. When this river is entering here, it is called as Xiang. At this location, it is called as Xiang river. And just below that, when it reaches into Brahmaputra, when here Dibang and Lohit meets it, at this point, from this point onward, it is called as Brahmaputra river. Okay. So this is one of the part. Now, coming to the next topic, I told you in the beginning, we have to see some articles all together. So if you see the Hindu newspaper today, if you see the 2 pages of it, you will find that there are 3 articles related to this section. There are 3 articles related to this section. So we are combining all these 3 articles here. Now what is the day today? It is 11th of July. So 11th of July is basically your World Population Day. And what is the theme this year? The theme is unleashing the power of gender equality, uplifting the voices of women and girls to unlock our world's infinite possibilities. Okay. So it is more focused on gender equality, unlocking the power of, unleashing the power of gender equality. That is the theme here, unleashing the power of gender equality. Unleashing the power of gender equality. That is the theme of World's Population Day. Now, as I told you in the starting itself, that we have got 3 different articles, and on the basis of that we have discussed this. So one of the article was India's demographic journey of hits and misses. India's demographic journey. That was the first. Then there was another editorial. Which was having this name, A Case of People versus Pollution. A Case of People versus Population. A Case of People versus Population. People in the India and population. And there was another article, A Pathway for Most Populous Nation. There was this article also, A Pathway for Most Populous Nation. So these 3 editorials were there, and from all these 3 editorials I have gathered some facts for you. And keep this in mind, if you are going for mains in this year, in 2024 or 25 or any time, these facts are going to be quite much useful for you. So this is something which is going to be useful for a long period of time. Let us see that what are those facts here. Okay. Now the first thing is, the population of India has grown 44% from 100 crore to 144 crore in the last 27 years. In the last 27 years, our population has grown 44%. Okay. But the rate of growth has fallen sharply from nearly 2% to below 1%. So there is one simple thing. our population is growing, but now the rate of growth of population annually, it is now declining. It is now declining. There is a replacement level. Replacement level is simply called as 2.1. Okay. It is indicated like how many birth has been given by a woman. How many birth has been given by a woman. Okay. So on the basis of this, this is called as the replacement level. Means if the population, if the fertility level or if the score is 2.1, it means the population will become stable. But in case of India, it has even fallen below that. Now it has come to 2.0. So right now the population is growing, but in the times to come, in the upcoming decades or later on, we will see that there is going to be a decline in the population of the country. So right now it is growing at a rate of around 1%, but in the future it is going to come down because we are below that 2.1 level. Now our population is going to decline in the upcoming future. Okay. In the next 40 to 50 years, we will see a declining trend. Okay. So that is one of the things. Now, there is another part. The per capita GDP of Indians grew 6 times from $400 to $2,400. In the last 27 years, our per capita income has increased from $400 to $2,400. So it has also increased 6 times. This is about last 27 years. This is about the last 27 years that our population has also grown 44%. But at the same time, what we have seen that our GDP has grown 6 times. From a GDP per capita of around $400, it is now nearly $2,400. So this is one of the aspect. Our lifespan has increased from 61 years to nearly 70 years. Now the average lifespan of Indian person is 70 years, approximately 69 point something. So 70 years now. Okay. So this is one thing, like our lifespan has also increased. At the same time, the Indians living below the multi-dimensional poverty line has decreased from 43% to 11%. Okay. So there is a massive decline in poverty in India. According to government figure, now only 11% of Indian population is under the category of multi-dimensionally poor. Multi-dimensional poor has multiple categories like health also, education also, cost of living also. On all these parameters, there is calculation of this multi-dimensional poverty. So on that parameters, only about 11% of our population is poor. But our 11% is very high. Our 11% is more than the population of Russia. Last day we have seen Russia has a population of 140 million, means roughly around 14 crore. Roughly around 14 crore. Our poor people, their number is 16 crore. Their number is around 16 crore. So we have more number of people who are poor, multidimensionally poor, than the entire population of Russia itself. Okay. So we have huge population still which are living under the poverty line. Okay. We have around 16 crore of people in India who are living below the poverty line, multidimensionally poor. So this is one of the things. Things have been improving, but still a lot has to be done. That is the first part. What we get from here, our population is growing, but it has started a reversal, like the rate of growth has come down. Second thing is, we have seen an increase in per capita income. We have seen an increase in life expectancy. So from here, we can get some of the facts. We can get some of the things like, first thing, population is now becoming stable. Population becoming stable. Second thing is, we have seen life expectancy increased. Life expectancy increased. Then what we have also seen, per capita income, per capita income increased 6 times. increased 6 times. And we have also seen here that now the number or the percentage of poor have come down. Lesser percentage of poor people. Lesser percentage of poor. So that is one of the thing which we have got from here, that now we have got lesser percentage of poor. Okay. Now coming to other part, we have seen that in the case of health there have been improvement. Okay. Health wise, if we look from the health perspective, what again we see, the maternal mortality rate, means during the delivery of child, how many women are dying, means out of 1 lakh live birth, in how many cases there is death of the mother. So maternal mortality rate in 2000 was around 384. So in the year of 2000, if there was 1 lakh delivery, in that around 384 women died. But now what we see, that this number 20 years later has been reduced to 100. So we can see that now it is just about less than 25% what it used to be there, or it is nearly about 25 to 30% of what used to happen in 2000. So maternal mortality rate has declined in the last 20 years. It has remained now something around 25 to 30% of the figure which was there in 2000. So that is a positive thing, that our maternal mortality rate has been continuously declining. And why it has been declining? Now there are more number of hospitals, more number of institutional deliveries. Why more number of institutional deliveries? Because government is providing a lot of incentives. Government is providing a lot of incentive for hospital delivery, for institutional delivery. We have various schemes going on for this. Okay. Now, infant mortality means death per 1000. Like suppose if 1000 live birth is there, how many infants are dying? It used to be 66 in 2000. Now it is 25.5. So it has also become almost less than even half of it. Okay. So we see that if 1000 children are born in India, then out of that 1000 children, around 25 of them are dying. Remaining 975 are being saved now. It used to be like 66 earlier, 20 years earlier, it used to be 66. Now the things have improved. Okay. So on infant mortality rate also and maternal mortality rate also, we have improved quite a bit. Okay. So this is also a positive part for Indian health scenario or Indian population, that now the things are changing. Now what we see, that there is better health facilities. People are not generally like people are being saved. So that is a good part. Okay. So this is also one of the very important part. Then now the thing is, what about the challenges? There are certain challenges. Right now we have seen all the good part of it, that everything is going good. Okay. Now the thing is, what are the challenges here? The challenges which are there. The number one challenge is changing demography. Right now we have a median age of 28. Means our country is a young country. Our country is considered as a young country. The median age of the population is 28. But at the same time, what we see, that the number of elderly population is going to increase now. What we see here, the individuals aged 60 years, right now their population is 8.6%. Their population is only 8.6%, but in the coming future, it is going to increase up to 19.5% by 2050. So our demography is now changing. We have a time of around 20 years or 30 years in which we can make our country a superpower. Because after that, a large number of population is going to become a dependent population. You cannot expect a 70-year person to be as efficient as a 20 or 25-year young person. Okay. So this is one of the thing. Our population is now becoming older. Gradually it is becoming older, and by 2050 they are going to be 20% of the population. Okay. So this is a challenge. Then there is another part. It's true that poverty is declining in India. It's true that poverty is declining in India, but it is not even. It is not even. Around 83% of the poor people, around 83% of the poor people in India are just residing in some of the states. Like we have Uttar Pradesh, we have Bihar, we have Madhya Pradesh, and we have Jharkhand. Okay. So only 4 states account for 83% of the poor people. Only 4 states are accounting for 83% of the poor people in India. On the other hand, the other states are not having that much of poor population. So this is one thing. The growth is not even everywhere. The growth is not even everywhere. And what we see due to this? We see that there is a huge amount of migration in India. There is a huge amount of migration in India from these states. People from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand or Madhya Pradesh are migrating towards other part of the country in search of employment, in search of job, in search of education, everything, in search of better facilities. Okay. So this is one of the part. Uneven poverty is there. So this is something which the government will have to look instantly, because there is a simple line: poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. There is a simple line: poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. So if there is poverty in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or other part of the country, then it is not just a threat for these states, it is a threat for the entire country. This is where around 38% of the population of India is living. This is where 38% of population of India is living, and 83% of the poor people. So this is just a reverse figure. You can see around 34% of the population and 83% of the poor people. So this is a challenging situation for the government, for our nation. Yeah. Now there is some more thing. If we talk about this inequality, according to Oxfam, top 10% of India's population hold 77% of the national wealth. Only 10% of the people are having like this, having this hold over about 77% of the wealth of the country. So that is also a challenging part. Means remaining 90% are just having 23% of the wealth. Remaining 90% of the population is just having 20% or 23% of the wealth. Okay. So that is a challenging factor. At the same time, absolute growth in GDP has limited importance, where top 1% holds 40% of the total wealth. Okay. Now, top 10% is having 77%, but even in that, the top 1%, they are having 40% of the wealth. So you can imagine here, 99% of the population, 99% of the population is having 60% wealth, and 1% of the population is having the command over 40% of the wealth. Yeah. And even if you look at it, 90% of population is just having 23%. 90% of the population is just having 23% of the wealth of the country. So that is a challenging situation. Uneven growth, uneven development, uneven growth of the country. At the same time, hunger and nutrition. We say that we have enormous amount of food. We say that we have enormous amount of food stocks. Many a times we are just throwing it out into the oceans. We are just simply throwing it out as a garbage. But at the same time, in the case of Global Hunger Index, India's rank was 111 out of 125 countries. A country which is among the top exporters of wheat, sugarcane, like even in production we can see that we are among the top 5 producers of wheat also, rice also, pulses also, the oil also. We are among the top producers of maize also. We are among the top producers of milk also. Fisheries also, we have a good stake there. Okay. So in all these conditions, in all these food items, we are one of the top producers. Not in all we are the top, but we are one of the top, in the top 5 or top 10. And even after being in top 5 or top 10 of all these production, what we see here, that we are 111 out of 125 countries in the global hunger index. Okay. So that is a worrying figure, that we are having so much of food, but it is not being utilized, or it is simply like people are not getting the food for eating. That is a challenge. Then there is one more thing. Just taking 4-5 more minutes. Just taking like it is 18:06, but taking 5 minutes more. What we see, that there is a global cities index which has been released by Oxford Economics, and it has ranked the top cities in the world. What we see, that none of our cities were in top 5. The best ranking Indian city was Delhi, which occupies the 350th position out of 1,000 cities in the world. So our capital city is not even among the top 100 cities of the world. The capital city of India, having the enormous amount of investment and all other things, it is not even in the top 100 cities of the world. It is on the 350th position. So while we are having an enormous amount of people, population or human resources, our cities are not up to the mark. Okay. On the other hand, see this part of migration. Out of 140 crore people of India, around 60 crore people are internal migrant. 60 crore people are migrating within India, means they are either leaving their villages or their towns, they are going out of the city or out of the state. So there are 60 crore people in India who are not able to find the job in their city or in their village or in their state. So 60 crore people are migrants in India. 60 crore people are migrants in India. There is a case study. Kerala reports that 42% of households have no elderly people. 42% of the households do not have any elderly population. They do not have the elderly population. At the same time, 37% of the households have one elderly population, and 20% have 2 and 1% have 3 elderly people. Why there are not so elderly people? They are going out for the job. They are living in other cities. They are living in other parts. Okay. So this migration survey was there. It was found that in the households, in the home, the children are there. They do not have any such elderly population. Majority of the people have to survive by them, survive on their own. Their family members are living outside. They are just earning money and sending it back to home. So we have this one example that how much migration is there. If migration is conducted in parts of UP and Bihar, you will see more such results. You will find that almost every house in Bihar or UP, almost every house or majority of house in Bihar and UP have either some students or some people who are working outside. The family is not together. Okay. So this is one of the challenge what we see, that the population which is there, it is migrating. It is not getting the even growth. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. So see, so we have discussed these 3 topics. That what are the challenges with respect to this population in India. We have discussed the another topic which was about the Xiang project, and the first thing about the transgender community in India. So I hope all these 3 things are clear. Yeah, poor people equals to the Russia population, correct. More than that. So that will be all for today, and we will meet some of you again in the Adhyan batch. The class is today also. on at 7 p.m. So I am going to meet you again at 7 p.m. for the current affairs of January month. Thank you so much and all the best. Thank you everyone.